You just sent a text, 3 words, maybe 4. Now you're staring at the screen, rereading them like they're a legal document. Did that sound weird? Should you have used a period? Why haven't they replied yet? Your brain is treating a text message like a crime scene. But the real answer for why you do this is far stranger than you're just anxious or you're bad at texting. You've been trained for this moment for 200,000 years. Your ancestors never sent a text, but they read faces, they read tone, they read silence. And getting that reading wrong could get them cast out of the only group standing between them and the dark. Here's the reframe. Overthinking a text isn't a modern glitch. It's an ancient survival system running on hardware it was never built for. Go back 60,000 years. You are not living alone. You are living in a band of maybe 30, maybe 50 people. That's it. That's your whole world. There's no calling a different tribe if this one kicks you out. There's no delivery app, no backup shelter, no second chance. Food gets shared inside that group, or it doesn't reach you. Protection happens inside that group, or it doesn't happen at all. Every single resource you needed to stay alive ran through the same 30 faces around the same fire. So think about what that does to a brain over generations. Groups that got better at reading each other, faster at spotting tension before it exploded, quicker at sensing when someone was pulling away, those groups held together longer. They survived winters that fractured groups didn't. And the individuals inside them who were especially good at that reading, who noticed the cold shoulder a beat before anyone else did, they tended to survive too. Slowly, without anyone planning it, evolution built a mind that treats "does the group still want me here?" as one of the most urgent questions a person can ask. Because in a group that small, your standing in it was your entire survival plan. If the group liked you, you ate. If the group trusted you, you were protected while you slept, unconscious and defenseless for 8 hours a night. If the group turned on you, you were alone in a world with teeth in it. So your brain built an early warning system. A constant, quiet radar. Always scanning. Do they still like me? Did I offend someone? Am I still safe here? That radar never got the memo that the stakes changed. Now here's where it gets genuinely strange. Decades ago, scientists ran an experiment where people played a simple ball-tossing game while lying inside a brain scanner, tossing a virtual ball back and forth with 2 other players. At some point, without warning, the other 2 players just stopped throwing the ball to them. No explanation given, no insult spoken, just silence. And a ball that never came back. The brain scans showed something nobody fully expected. The exact same region that lights up during physical pain lit up during that small, silent exclusion. Not a similar region, the same one. Being left out of a game didn't just feel bad. To the machinery inside your skull, it registered as an injury. Your brain does not file social rejection under disappointing. It files it under wound. So when you send a text and it sits there, unanswered, gray bubble, no reply, some part of your brain isn't calmly thinking, they're probably just busy. Some part of your brain is quietly bracing for exile. That sounds dramatic. It is dramatic. It's also exactly what kept your ancestors alive long enough to have you and their ancestors before them all the way back. But there's a second piece to this, and it might be the stranger one. In another line of research, scientists ran a simple, slightly cruel experiment. They had people put on an embarrassing t-shirt, something you'd never choose to wear in public, and walk into a room full of strangers. Afterward, they asked each person to guess how many people in that room had noticed the shirt. The guesses came in high. Close to half the room, most people figured. The real number, once they actually asked the strangers, was closer to 1 in 4, less than half of what people assumed. Scientists call this pattern the spotlight effect, and it isn't limited to embarrassing shirts. Your brain runs a private assumption, almost all day, every day, that other people are watching you far more closely than they actually are. You are, understandably, the main character of your own life, so your mind quietly assumes you're a main character in everyone else's life too. You're not. Most people are too busy running the exact same spotlight simulation about themselves to spend much time studying you. Now put that inside a text message. Your brain assumes the other person is scrutinizing your word choice the way you're scrutinizing it, weighing every haha against every LOL, measuring the gap between a period and no punctuation at all like it's a verdict. They're usually not doing any of that. They read it once, in about 2 seconds, thought nothing of it, and moved on with whatever they were already doing. But you don't know that from where you're sitting. So you sit there, rereading your own sentence like it's on trial, defended by a lawyer who is also you, prosecuted by a jury that is also you, with no judge in the room to call it off. Here's the part that really seals it, though. Across dozens of studies, a strange pattern keeps showing up. Negative events, negative feedback, negative interactions all carry more weight in the mind than positive ones of the same size. One curt reply outweighs 10 warm ones. One flat K can quietly erase a week of friendly conversation, at least in how it feels sitting in your chest. Scientists who've traced this pattern across memory, relationships, and money have summed it up in 4 blunt words. Bad is stronger than good. Why would a mind be built so lopsided? Because in the environment your brain evolved in, missing a threat could kill you, and missing a nice moment just meant you missed a nice moment. A predator you failed to notice was fatal. A friend who forgot to smile back was, at worst, mildly annoying. So your brain became an expert at scanning for the bad and a lazy student of the good. That imbalance made total sense when the bad thing could actually eat you. It makes a lot less sense when the bad thing is a lowercase k from your coworker. And this is where texting becomes almost uniquely cruel to a brain built this way. For nearly all of human history, communication came bundled with information. A raised eyebrow, a pause before an answer, a tone of voice that told you instantly whether you were in trouble or not. Your ancestors' threat detection system had data to work with. It could resolve the question fast, safe or not safe, and then move on with the day. Texting strips almost all of that away. No tone, no face, no pause you can actually read, only a gap of time your brain is desperate to fill with meaning of its own invention. And when the ancient radar can't find enough information to close the loop, it doesn't shut off. It just keeps running in the background, quietly, refusing to file the moment as resolved. That's the loop you're stuck in at 11 p.m., rereading a message you sent 6 hours ago, turning one lowercase word over and over like it might reveal something new the 20th time. Not because you're irrational, because your radar found a gap, and gaps to your brain have always meant danger. Think about it this way. Somewhere inside every unanswered text, your nervous system is running the same basic calculation a hunter-gatherer's nervous system ran when a friend walked past without a nod. Have I done something wrong? Am I still in? It's the same question, asked by the same kind of mind, just wearing a phone case instead of standing by a fire. So think about the last time you agonized over a text. The read receipt with no reply. The one-word answer you couldn't stop dissecting, turning it over in your head between tasks all afternoon. That wasn't weakness. That was a 200,000-year-old survival circuit doing exactly what it was built to do, in a world it was never designed for. Wrong tool for the job, but the same brain, the same you. Reading a screen the way your ancestors once read a face across a fire because some part of you still isn't fully convinced it's safe to look away. And modern technology didn't fix any of this. If anything, it built new tools specifically shaped to feed the old radar. Read receipts. Typing indicators that appear, then vanish, then appear again. A little delivered that quietly confirms your words landed somewhere and still got no response. None of these features exist to calm your nervous system down. They exist to keep you engaged, checking, refreshing, and every single one of them hands your ancient threat detector a fresh, unresolved gap to chew on. Think about the typing bubble specifically. 3 dots appear. Your whole body relaxes, just slightly because contact is coming. Then the dots vanish. No message arrives. That vanishing is a genuinely new kind of social event. Your ancestors never experienced someone visibly starting to speak to them and then stopping, wordlessly, mid-thought, with no explanation offered. There's no equivalent for that in 60,000 years of face-to-face life. Your brain has no inherited script for it. So it improvises, and improvising usually means assuming the worst, because assuming the worst is exactly what kept cautious ancestors alive long enough to pass that caution on to you. Group chats make it worse in a different way. In an ancestral band, you generally knew where you stood with each person individually, one face at a time. A group chat collapses dozens of relationships into a single feed, where one joke that lands wrong, One message that gets left on read while everyone else's gets a reply becomes visible evidence, sitting right there that something has shifted. Your brain doesn't experience that as one small social friction. It experiences it as a public tribunal, replaying on a loop with the whole group as jury. And here's the cruel irony underneath all of it. The people you're most likely to overthink a text to are usually the people whose opinion matters most to you, which means your radar is working exactly as designed, just aimed at a threat that mostly doesn't exist anymore. There is no tribe that will banish you into the wilderness because you didn't reply within an hour. There is no genuine risk of starvation buried inside a friend's delayed response. But your body doesn't know the difference between a real ancient threat and a modern inconvenience shaped like one, because your body was never given a chance to learn it. Evolution moves across thousands of generations. Smartphones showed up in the space of one. So think about the last time you agonized over a text, the read receipt with no reply, the one-word answer you couldn't stop dissecting, turning it over in your head between tasks all afternoon. That wasn't weakness. That was a 200,000-year-old survival circuit doing exactly what it was built to do in a world it was never designed for. Wrong tool for the job, but the same brain, the same you. Reading a screen the way your ancestors once read a face across a fire, because some part of you still isn't fully convinced it's safe to look away. You just sent a text, and somewhere underneath the anxiety, the rereading, the second guessing, that's not a glitch in you. That's every ancestor who ever needed the group to survive, still quietly checking through you, whether you're still safe here.